Hi, my name is Igor, and this is the first and the only Tesla Model 3 in Russia. And in this video I'm going to tell you how and why we brought it here even before it appeared in Europe, and why this car is so amazingly important. And the most important part, what do people think about Tesla in Russia? Do they even know about it? We're going to ask random people on the streets. Let's go! Yes, and we have a supercharger in Moscow. One and only supercharger, and I think it's one and only supercharger that has this type of connector and European connector, like three-phase Menekes. Yes, we have a supercharger in Russia, a secret one. You can't find it on the map. And while we're getting some juice here, a couple of words on what it's all about. As I said, my name is Igor. I'm a managing partner of Moscow Tesla Club and co-founder of Electric Motors Club. Our goal is to convert all vehicles in the city to electric vehicles. That's our main goal. And my partner Alexei opened this company, the multi-brand electric vehicle store, and later the club, 4 years ago in Russia. And it was an electric vehicle island just in an empty space. There were nothing about electric cars here, and that was really impressive endeavor to make it. And since then we made a lot of funny things. I joined him 3 years ago, and we imported a lot of vehicles. We imported first new Teslas in Russia. We gotta shoot another video about that. Moscow Tesla Club, it's worth another video. Today I think what we have is the biggest moment of electric cars ever. For me, Tesla Model 3 is like Ford Model T. Ford Model T was a car built to convert people from horses to cars. It just was made for that. And Tesla Model 3 is the car just made to convert people from gasoline cars to electric cars. Everything in this car is just new. We got new frame, we got new battery, we got new permanent magnet motor, we got new interior. It just everything is new, and everything is built with their experience, and it's just amazing. And the most important thing, that this car is built for autonomy. And by having a best autonomous car and the best charging network, they're just getting a new type of transportation device. They're just gonna change the way we drive. And that's why this car is so important. But why electric cars just important in general? With electric cars, we're getting safety, we're getting durability, we're getting clean air, no pollution, we're getting silence in the streets, a lot of great things. And if this whole thing is so important, what stops us? Why just not everyone drives electric cars right now? Is it infrastructure? No, with Tesla you don't need much of infrastructure. If you have 500 kilometers on board, it's just enough. Infrastructure is not a problem. Is it a price? Fair enough, price is high, but I'm sure not every person who can own a Tesla, who could own a Tesla, already bought it. So not the price is the factor. My point that the main factor is awareness. Not everyone who can own a Tesla knows about Tesla. Not everyone who can own electric car knows about electric cars and tried it and know how to charge it. That's the main problem here, awareness. And awareness is the thing we work on this whole 4 years. That's why we're getting these cars as fast as we can, just to get a lot of media attention. If this cars is first, it's a huge thing for media, huge thing for all TV channels, for radio. They just want to tell about that. And okay, here it is, the first Model 3 in Russia. We got it here early as it was possible. It is the first car you can get in the United States, not being a Tesla employee. We made it. We made a huge presentation, invested a lot of money to the presentation, invited a lot of media guys. It went great. Everyone was passionate about it. We got a lot of attention from local YouTubers, and it went great too. We got a lot of feedback from Tesla owners who were happy about this car. But my concern, do just normal people know about this car? Do people on the street know about Tesla? Do people on the street know about electric vehicles? Like, not fans, not people who just some kind of in this industry, but people on the streets. I hope they do. At least 1 out of 10. I hope. And today we're gonna check it. We're gonna go and ask random people on the streets what do they know about electric vehicles, just to see if we got some attention, if we got some awareness on the streets. But I hope there gonna be at least one. Let's go and see. Okay, we finally came to the Arbat Street. It's a touristic destination in Moscow, and why we came here? Because this place is not only about people who live in such a huge city as Moscow, but it's a touristic destination, and people come here from all small towns and cities of Russia. So from really small places where you probably can't see any electric vehicles, so we can ask different people and see different opinions. So, do people know? We'll see. Okay, we'll see if we can find someone knowledgeable about electric cars.
What do you think is special about this car? This is Tesla. You know Tesla? It's an electric car. How do you feel about electric cars? Positively. What their pros or cons? They're ecological, but high prices are their cons. Expensive, yes. When do you think all cars go electric? In 30 years, maybe. In 30 years from 2018? I guess so. Okay, but do you know which Tesla is this? Exactly this one. Model S? No. I don't know that. Model 3, this is the first Model 3 in Russia, the first smaller and cheaper Tesla.
The first person who asked know about Tesla, and they like electric cars.
What do you think is special about this car? It's beautiful, beautiful car, okay. How do you feel about electric cars? You need electricity instead of gasoline. Electricity instead of gasoline, okay. What the pros and cons? Economy and ecology friendliness. Why don't all people drive EVs? They're not easy to buy. When do you think all cars on the streets go electric? When it's going to happen? In 30 years, not earlier.
There are some people who definitely know something about Teslas. And generally people positive about electric cars.
What do you think is special about this white car? It's not a Tesla. Not a Tesla? I see no registration number, I can't say, I don't know cars too well. You were close, because it's actually a Tesla, but a new version. How do you feel about electric cars in general? The industry is promising, but it requires a lot of investments, and you will see effect only after a long time. In 5 years, maybe. Effect? I heard he's got bankrupt.
Oh my god!
The production of such vehicles is expensive, so it takes a long time to recoup those costs. Okay, and what exactly requires a lot of investments? The production itself? And keeping such vehicles on roads? I mean, you need special charging stations. What are the EV's pros and importance? They are important for, I don't know, our planet? Why don't all people drive EVs? They're too expensive for a common person. Expensive. Very expensive. And electricity is more expensive than the gasoline. Okay, actually it's not. Actually it's the opposite. And the last question. When do you think all cars go electric? If they do. If people decide it's necessary, then in 5-10 years. And what do you think? I believe it'll take more time. More time. How long? 30 years.
10 to 30 years. And as you probably heard, Elon Musk go bankrupt with Tesla. That's what people know about Teslas here. And we need more money to build more electric cars. And this is not a Tesla. That's great.
How do you feel about electric cars? They're great, they're our future. I own Toyota Prius. Prius, nice. You made one step to the future. Yes, I love the car. It's old already, but I don't want to change it. What are the EV's pros if they are? Maybe there's no pros and no sense. The most obvious one is ecology. Yes, ecology is first of all. But there are cons, or we don't discuss cons. We do. They're important. No infrastructure. We need infrastructure. Yes. So, why don't all people drive EVs if they are so good? Well, how we have said, no infrastructure. You cannot charge the car if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere. And also ownership costs. Meaning, charging costs. I own a gasoline car and I know that there is a gas station behind the corner. But I know nothing about charging stations' locations. How do you think when all cars go electric? If they do, when? In 10 years from now. 10 years, yeah. But not all cars for sure. Not all of them, but more of them. 80%. Not 80%, but 50, I guess. 50% in 10 years. But people who own oil resources in Russia will lobby their interests. When these people are going to notice and fight EVs? Because we don't feel resistance at the moment. It'll happen when you get closer to 50%. Got it. That's the Tesla that Elon Musk sent to space. Almost. He sent to space the first Tesla. Yeah, that was a cabriolet. Yeah, and this car is the latest one, the new one, the only one in Russia yet. So you do know about Tesla and EVs? I heard about them, yes. How do you feel about electric cars? I use public transport. I prefer to get on a bus, trolley or tram and sit down. In the car you can't get up and stretch. My height is 190 centimeters, so when I get into my friend's car, I have to keep arms and legs closer to my body. Traveling in such positions seems uncomfortable to me. The type of engine or fuel in this case does not play any role. Will EV influence the city in some way? On the one hand, the air will become cleaner. On the other hand, electric cars move silently, so pedestrians will not hear the car and accidents can occur. How to solve this problem? Cars must have some artificial sound, like honking. No, some sound coming from dynamics. Tesla wants to create a slight noise in the direction of the pedestrian. Not in all directions, but only towards the pedestrian. When do you think all cars go electric? How much time will it take? Probably it will happen when they become cheaper than gasoline and diesel cars. When is that? I think we need a technical breakthrough in the production of batteries. The battery should be quick to charge and provide a range comparable to a gasoline car. 1 year, 2, 3, 5, 10, 100,000. I guess more than 10 years.
That's was an opinion from the person who doesn't use cars, and he knows a lot about electric cars. A lot. That's great. And I got to wear gloves. You see my red hands. It's really cold in Russia today.
Very cold.
Really cold.
It was just released, right? Yeah. It has kind of a gas tank on the right. What does it have on the left instead of the left turn signal? The charging port. Where the turn signal is. What do you know about the car? That it was just released. It's the newest Tesla model of Elon Musk. New Tesla. Yeah. And it's... Mom, wait. Let's go now. You don't need this. You don't need these experiments, I said. How do you think? Is there any sense in EVs? I think yes, because they say that oil reserves will be exhausted. We need alternative for the future. What are their pros? If you look from economic point of view, it takes fewer costs. Plus, it's a sign of progress and the fact that the automotive industry is developing. Will it ever happen that all cars go electric? If yes, when? How much time will it take? 20-30 years, I guess. Oil reserves will be depleted and people will understand that it's necessary to switch to new and more progressive sources. No button on a dashboard at all. Where does the air blow from? From here? Yeah, all settings are in the tablet.
A lot of people know about electric cars.
Is there any sense in electric cars? It depends on where you use it. It's convenient for a city, but using EVs for long trips or trips to the countryside is scary. Even if there is a charging station on the way, there is no guarantee that the range will be enough to get to it. The range is calculated on the basis of the average indicators. So if you need to speed up on a highway, your range can drop from 500 to 400 very quickly. I don't believe that EVs can be considered as a full-fledged alternative to gasoline cars. But is there any good from them? I think, yeah, sure, less pollution. And I think such cars are a bit easier in their design. They don't need all these additional mechanisms to the engine. Electric engine has more potential because it's new and unexplored. It's only the beginning for EVs. New Tesla Roadster goes from 0 to 100 km per hour in 1.9 seconds. And I don't think that's limit. I feel like you know everything about electric cars. They're interesting to watch. Will it ever happen that all cars go electric? If yes, when? When all cars go electric? The question is controversial. I thought about it recently. Perhaps the situation will be different. There will be more hybrid cars. Even now there are gasoline cars with electric motors. For example, Toyota Prius. At speeds of up to 30 km per hour, the car uses electric traction. And I think that in the future, on the contrary, there will be electric cars with the possibility to use a small gasoline engine. It can be used to get to the charging station if there's not enough range. The future is for hybrid cars. It's unreasonable to produce electric cars now. Manufacturers of gasoline cars don't let electric cars to develop. Tesla's approach is very different. Tesla is more of a gadget, not an auto. How long will it take to turn all cars into EVs? Well, I don't think it's the nearest future. We can see EVs around, but total transition... 1,000 years? No, not more than 100 years, maybe 50. 50, until oil reserves are not exhausted. In 50 years. I believe in 100 years. Okay, 100. You say you're surprised that in Moscow there are not so many... Yes, not so many Tesla cars. I'm not from Moscow, I'm from Kharkov, Ukraine. In Kharkov we've got even taxi service, which uses only Tesla cars, and other EVs like Nissan Leaf. So, I'm a bit shocked that there's no such things in Moscow, even though we can see many super expensive cars in the city. In our case, people do not buy electric cars for economy, so it's weird that you don't have them in Moscow. How quickly the situation with electric cars changed in Ukraine. The situation changed drastically and very quickly. Many electric cars were imported to Ukraine despite the fact that they are insanely expensive. I mean, if a person buys an electric car, theoretically they want to save money or take care about environment. But when a person buys Tesla for such huge money, then this is clearly not a person who needs to save. Will it ever happen that all cars or most of them go electric? If yes, when? I think yes, EVs will displace internal combustion engines. Gasoline constantly rises in price. In addition, European standards are being introduced. In some countries, it's already 5-6 years. How many years until everything is going to turn? In how many years? I think not less than in 10 years. In 10 years, there will be majority of EVs. I guess so. This is a trend. What do you think is special about this car? This car? Yes. Nice executive car for rich people. The car has a good color. This is an electric car. Electric? Fully electric. Splendid. Can I insert a chip into my head and mentally manage it? Not yet.
People should have chips implanted in their skulls that explode when they say something stupid.
But they're working on it. Really cool. It'll help people have more fun and love in their lives. I've got a question. Have you heard anything about electric cars? What do you think? Yeah, I have. I feel good about them. But this trend depends on money, first of all. I mean, it depends on incomes. That's why EVs are popular in Europe. In Russia, they only come into fashion. I would like it to be a trend for all countries, because it's ecologically friendly. Will it ever happen that all cars go electric? It will happen, but not earlier than by the end of the century. But it will happen. Those who look superficially will disappear. Only those like us, the best, those who see the essence, will remain. You approached and asked about the cars, so I guess you saw it on YouTube. Yes, of course. Did you know anything about Tesla and EVs before that? Of course I knew. You did. Yeah. How do you feel about electric cars in general? Is there any sense in them or not? There definitely is sense. They're the future in automotive industry. They're economical, practical, they look great, and they're noiseless and ecological. But at the moment the Russian market is not ready for electric cars. First, the price is very high. Secondly, there are very few charging stations. In the United States there are free Tesla charging stations. But in 10 years the situation in Russia might change. Haven't you heard about this car before? Nope, I've only owned gasoline cars. What about pedals? They're the same, but there's a fully active autopilot in there. Autopilot? Autopilot, yes. So you can just relax while driving. How to charge it? Like this. So, just connect it to an outlet. Is there any sense in electric cars? For sure. Why? It protects our environment. Ecology. Ecology, yes. And I also think that it'll be cheaper in usage. I guess so. So why don't all people drive EVs now? Not enough promotion. For instance, I've seen it for the first time now. Just no information. Yeah, I think so. Will it ever happen that all cars or most of them go electric? If yes, when? I have no idea, no idea. When gasoline becomes too expensive, all people will switch to electric cars. 10 years, 20, 100,000? It's necessary to motivate young people to buy electric cars, because the older generation got used to gasoline cars. Young people are better at switching to new approaches. If they see the benefits, they will pick this idea up.
Have you seen that? I'm pretty much astonished with the results. 8 of 10 people know about electric car. Most of them know about Teslas. That's amazing. I expected 1 out of 5 or maybe 1 out of 10. And as I said, it was on Arbat street, on street where just people from random places walking. It's just not like people who living here in Moscow, where we have most of Russian electric cars and Russian Teslas. That's amazing. That's just astonishing. And the interesting part that almost everyone talks about ecology, and that's unusual because we all know that people buying cars here not because of ecology. They're buying cars because they're fun to drive, they're more convenient. But everyone said that electric cars good for ecology. That's nice. And the interesting part was that there were a lot of young people who came to us and said that they saw this car on famous YouTube channel. It was Wilsakom, like huge Russian YouTube blogger who made short review of our car. We gave it to him and he kind of made a short review. That's fantastic. That just means that we are doing the right thing, because I see that it works. It really works. And that's the thing anyone can do, any electric cars owner can do. Just any electric vehicle on the road sells 10, maybe 100 vehicles more. And the best thing you can do to promote electric vehicles is bring them on the roads. That's why we're importing cars here, even we don't have official Tesla here yet. We're kind of hitting the market, starting the whole thing. I'm happy with today's interviews, because my deepest fear was that it's gonna be 0 out of 10, and I'm kind of happy that's it. We got completely different results. It was the first video I made in English for English audience. I hope you like it. If you like it, please like and subscribe. I appreciate your support, and I'll see that all the things have meaning. We gotta make another video on Moscow Tesla Club story, how all it began and why, we had a lot of struggle and a lot of funny and good moments in our history. And another one video, secret video on the first Tesla Roadster in Moscow. But it's gonna be a little bit in future. This car have a bit of history too. Okay, greetings to all electric vehicle owners and supporters, fellows. Have a good day.
Hi, what's your name? Denise. I'm Igor. Hello. Hi. What do you know about this car? I've got a feeling you do know something. Tesla Model 3 is the first reasonably priced car from Tesla. Great, it's so nice to meet such people who understand. What's so special about the car? Well, the price, and also no dashboard. I get it. How do you think? What's the importance of EVs? They're ecological. Ecological. Yes. Clean air. Yeah. Okay, and one more question. When all cars, or most of them, go electric? I am not sure, but maybe by 2030.
Did you see it? There are people who knows about Tesla, and that's the youngest one. The new generation knows about Tesla and they passionate about it. That's amazing. We have awesome future.